You ready for this? Living Eclectic asks, do you have any good-looking single brothers? Well, yes, I do.
Yep.
Don't do that.
That's my brother.
I don't have brothers.
What is the biggest obstacle in your relationship?
Not the language barrier, but the culture difference.
Okay.
Not the age, not the language, it's the culture. Some things you just can't get used to. You lived your whole life a certain way.
Yeah.
Some ideas.
I'd have to agree with that. May or may not blame him for being Israeli. How do you manage it when people point out the age difference?
People actually don't really point it out because Andrea acts like a teenager and I act like a 40-year-old.
60-year-old. Andrea, are you working on learning the language or just learning as you go? Yes and no. I'm expecting him to teach Rafael and Rafael to teach me. With homeschooling, will you teach more than one language? Yes. He's teaching Hebrew, I'm teaching English. What is your U.S. mailing address? I don't give that out because I don't have a post office box, and my mom is like my only
It's a top secret address.
It's not top secret. Are there many jobs besides the military?
Yes, there's plenty of jobs. There's a lot of high tech here. A lot of startups that are being sold to the biggest companies there are. Like, not the biggest, but Google, is one of them. When I say high tech, I mean for the kind, like me. If I would go anywhere, that's where I would go probably. IAI, Israeli Air Industries, or Rafael, which is...
You'd work for Rafael?
Yeah, that's the company I wanted to go to before I was in the military.
Do you have a security clearance?
Yeah.
It's classified. Raw Vegan 35 asks, how did your family feel about me?
My family has mixed feelings because culture shock. Now, my mom just married 8 years ago. She married an American, 13 years older than her. That was a culture shock too. Kind of all of us. I always picked my stepdad up as being a grumpy old man, which he kind of is because he has to have his coffee in the morning and then...
American.
There's a bunch of stress on him.
Yeah.
So then my whole family kind of wasn't really attached to him. I was the first child to be okay with him. And by the time both my sisters finally picked up what he's about, came Andrea at 2009, only 3 years later. So that's hard. My mom's from Brazil, and she doesn't take any culture but Israeli culture, really.
I called a handkerchief a snot rag one time, and she about had a fit, so...
So mixed feelings.
I'm a country girl, and she has no idea what that's about. How did my son feel about moving to Israel? At first he was kind of excited. He thought it would be neat. He found out that he did not like it here at all. He lived here for 2 years. During the time I was pregnant with Rafael is when he really wanted to go back. So that's what he did. Do I worry that I'll pass on my social issues to my son? I do have social anxiety. It is pretty crippling. If I go over to his parents' house, I kind of just go into a zone. First 2 hours that I'm there, I don't remember it. And the next 2 hours that I'm there, I kind of just fall asleep. I can't talk anymore. I can't smile anymore. I can't act like I'm interested. I'm done. And that's pretty much with everybody that I'm around except for my mom and my kids, him. I just can't be around a bunch of people. It wears me out. They suck my energy out first, just socially. I'm not worried that I'll pass it on to my son because I don't believe that something like that is like contagious. I'm not going to actually discuss it with him that, hey, I don't like going out in public with people. I'm just going to, get him out as much as he can go out with other kids his age and play on the playground. They have tons of playgrounds here, tons of little kids running around loose. So he's going to be able to play with other kids.
Scientifically, I think it is contagious. You just have to control it, like she said. You don't talk about it and you just do the opposite of what you feel. Feel dread, just go out and do it.
Yeah.
Smile.
Are we going to have any more children?
We live in it now. Do we plan on having more children or are we going to? That's different. Two different questions.
Do you plan on having more children?
Maybe. I'm not being negative about it. I'm just saying maybe. Who knows?
Well, I'm going to have 2 more children.
Okay.
We have to hurry up. I'm going to lose weight before I get pregnant again because I don't want it to be so hard on me while I'm pregnant. I have miserable pregnancies, so
You can look up here in the obese pregnancy video, and you can link it up there.
why did you decide not to breastfeed? I didn't breastfeed because, well, I did for 5 weeks, but I wasn't able to breastfeed. I truly believe that I am not supposed to have children with this body. My body doesn't function correctly. My hormones don't work right. I don't go into labor. My uterus is tilted. My stuff, I'm not wide enough to actually pass a baby. And I don't make milk. I made half an ounce to 1 ounce of milk every 2.5 hours or so. Frankly, the baby would have starved to death if he had to eat from me. My stuff doesn't work as well as I wish it would. What do my family and friends think of my son not living with me? I don't really have friends. The people that I do know Zeb as well, they know that I would not have let him just go on a whim, back to the States and not live with me. I've had him since he was born. He's always been in my care. I was a single mom for 13 years. Nobody helped me take care of him. It was just me. I had him when I was young, okay? I was 19 when I got pregnant. Just turned 20 when I had him. And my mom said when he was born, "That's your kid. You're going to raise him. Don't think I'm going to take care of him." Not that I was acting like I wanted to pass him off onto her, but that's what she told me. And I took care of him. He was only out of my care for 8 days while I was working. And he was 12 at the time. Did I always have a weight problem? Yes, I have been big since I was 8 years old. I like to eat pretty much, but I've had a binge eating problem since I was 8. Mel Darling asks, "You two seem so perfect together. Do you ever argue? If so, what about?"
We do argue, and it's usually about cultural stuff, actually. Thanks for asking. If you think about it, each root of each problem we have is really nail it. I mean, it's cultural.
He thinks backwards like he reads Hebrew, okay?
I just think a different way.
Okay. Where are you coming out of there from? Where are you getting that at? Okay, we argue about the baby too. Anything else we argue about, honey?
The cat.
Season Lee 78 asks, "What is your favorite food in Israel? What do you miss most from the States that you cannot make or buy in Israel?" My favorite food in Israel is during Hanukkah. It's the only time they have donuts, and they're called sufganiyot.
Yep. They're donuts.
It's kind of a donut. It's like a round puff donut, and it's big, and it's deep fried, but it's a whole circle. It doesn't have a hole in it, but it's got red jelly in it.
Jam.
Powdered sugar on top.
Every day, your favorite food is most likely shawarma. Anytime I say the word or just bring it here, she almost cries.
He's only brought it twice, but it's very good. Shawarma's very good. Very good. I like it. How long did it take before you and Hadar met in person?
2006. End of 2006. 7, 8, and April 2009. So 3.5 years.
I had to wait until he was legal.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Hadar, do you think Andrea and Rafael will ever move to the U.S. after the military?
There is no after the military for now. We live in the next few years. We don't live 20 years from now. You really can't tell what's going to happen next year, in all honesty.
Okay, guys, if you know anybody that works in, like, the airlines or whatever that can offer him a very high-paying job, go ahead and offer it to him.
Here's the thing.
He's a really hard worker.
I've moved about 14 times total in 14 different houses I lived in.
That's not my life.
And I've been doing this, and I'm still doing this, and I'm ready to go. Pack up and leave whenever. I don't plan in 20 years ahead because I know stuff's gonna go bad.
That's not my life. I'm a settler. I like to settle.
Americans
I don't like
settle.
to pick up and move on a whim, and a lot of military do that. A lot of people in Israel do that. They move every year, and I'm not into that.
I don't like to move, but
No.
that's just how my life's been. So I don't expect any better than that.
What is your favorite food or meal to eat in the U.S.? That's for you.
I like my $6 all-you-can-eat sushi.
Oh, heck yeah. I don't like it, but I like it for you.
Longhorns was pretty good, but 4,000 calories in a sitting, and that's not even all you can eat.
What is Andrea's best characteristic?
There's a few things. Honesty, probably.
Thanks, Sonny. Any more children anytime soon?
Eh.
Jenno, my. Do you have any goodies you saw in the store you can only get in the States that you will take back with you?
Walmart.
What do you miss most about shopping in the States?
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's great. If they had a Walmart here, I wouldn't complain about anything if we had a Walmart. What was your life like before you met Hadar? It was sad and lonely. I lived by myself, and then during Katrina, my mom broke her leg. She tore her ACL, so she couldn't walk for a year. And then she broke her wrist. She had a compound fracture in her wrist working outside. So I decided to move in with my parents, take care of my mom, and then I kind of just like stayed there for 3 years with my son, Zebulon. So I kind of got stuck there, and I was playing video games every day. I was working Amazon at the time. I don't know if I was doing eBay too at the time. I kind of like did eBay and then did Amazon. I was doing eBay from 1999 until I did Amazon, and I can't remember when I did Amazon, but I've always worked online. Just about 2 years before we met, I was living by myself with me and my son. It had me a little life there. Once Rafael grows to school age, do you plan on having a career in Israel? I don't plan on it. This is my job right here, being a housewife, being a mommy, and I think it's more important for me to raise my kids. I mean, some people might say that the extra income would help me to raise my kids, but I think it's more important for me to stay at home. Teach him, train him, have him grow up. He's going to join the military because it's mandatory here if we still live in Israel. I mean, we could move to New Zealand. I know a lot of foreigners discriminate against obese people. Have you experienced obesity discrimination while in Israel, and how did you handle it? I can't say that have I? I don't remember.
People generally just stare.
Do they?
There's a lot of obese people here. Lately, there's been more.
The
People
older
just
women.
stare. So Andrea thinks each and every person is evil, because they just, they're like.
Well, okay, they do have a habit of staring, and me.
They stare at everyone.
What the heck are they staring at? I will say that. Sometimes I say it loud so they can hear it. What the heck is she staring at? Because they do. They are rubberneckers, so they are breaking their neck to look at me sometimes. So I don't really mind, but I kind of, if I look at somebody and they're looking at me, and then I look at them again and they're still looking at me, that's kind of rude, I think. I don't know.
People never look at me when I look at them.
I know you hate the band. Would you ever consider having gastric bypass? No, I wouldn't.
I think.
No, I don't like that. No.
It destroys her body, and that's why she doesn't want to do it.
No, I think it does age a person, but then again, you're in a smaller body, so I am older than Hadar. I don't want to look too much older than him. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I would love to be skinny, but I don't want to also look older than him. How do you stay true to who you are as an American overseas without alienating yourself from people native to where you reside?
You don't.
I don't. I
If you're an American, you're an American.
Yeah.
You're not an Israeli. You don't act this way unless you really immerse yourself in here, but that's for 20-year-old people who decide to come here to live and experience. She's not here to live and experience. She's here to just...
No, I did not choose to come to Israel. I mean, if he was in Japan, I would have went there too. I'm only here because of him, basically. Cook for My Kids asks, what is the most popular spectator sport in Israel?
Soccer. And basketball.
I know Zeb lived with you in Israel with Hadar for a while. How did you all get along?
Not very good.
They didn't get along good. Zeb was already a teenager when I married Hadar. Did Zeb resent Hadar? Also, how does Zeb feel about having a little brother? Well, Zeb loves having a little brother. He loves Rafael. He played with him while we were there and talks about him to his friends and stuff. So, did Zeb resent Hadar? Probably. Zeb was with me his whole life, just me. I didn't date anyone the entire time. So he's only seen me, only been with me. So he probably did. Laura Ortiz says, Andrea, are you guys ever coming back to the USA, or are you going to live in Israel permanently?
We don't know.
He may be in the military for 20 years, so we don't know. Libby Withnall asks, what steps are you going to take to help Rafael make friends? I will take him to the park to play with other little kids his age, and, they'll just get along really well because that's what kids do. Jesse Homemaker asks, what year were you born? I was born in 1977.
1990.
Emily Pound asks, I know you're planning to have at least one other child, but any others? I want to have 3 kids with Hadar. Hadar, do you watch YouTube as well, and do we ever watch YouTube together?
No, and I try to avoid YouTube with Andrew as much as I can.
Yeah, he can't sit still when YouTube's on. I don't know why. What's your favorite thing about living in Israel? I know you said you love living there. Do you ever get homesick? I do get homesick. I don't especially love living here. I think it's pretty. It can be nice. I like the housing here. The housing all has everything that I wanted in a house. It's got solid brick and concrete, like poured concrete walls, all the houses. All the houses have tile in them, and that's something that I wanted in a house, always. So I do like that. I like the view. What do I like? I like that we live by the water, the sea. I don't especially feel at home here, and when I have dreams, it's always about Florida. Christy Next Level asks Hadar, what is your favorite thing about Andrea? And she spelled it favorite because she's from New Zealand.
One of my favorite things used to be playing video games with her. Favorite about her means that we get to spend our time together doing something we like together.
I don't play video games anymore.
No.
What do you like doing up now?
Well, we do listen to the same music, so at least that's good. That means that I can listen to what I want.
Andrea, what is your favorite thing about Hadar? Oh, I didn't know you was going to ask me. The one thing that stands out in my mind besides how he looks or how he acts is his timing is usually always good. I don't know how to explain it, but when I first met him, everything worked out the way it was supposed to, like it was perfect. The timing that I came over here, the timing that he came over there, the timing that we got married, the timing that we even met. I almost missed him by just like a few hours because when we met online, he was fixing to leave that server and go to another server, and I wouldn't have met him. So the timing for just everything has always been good. Everything always works out. We probably will move back to the U.S. Or, she asked both of us, when are you going to come to New Zealand and visit?
When we have enough money.
I would love to go to New Zealand. Before I even met him, I did fantasize about going to New Zealand. One, because they don't have any snakes there, and another is just because it's gorgeous there. It's beautiful, and he loves it too. This is from Coco Pop 1971. How does Hadar feel having a foreign wife? Do you feel overwhelmed by the obligation to need to translate conversations? I always feel my hubby is exhausted after having me in his home country. Her husband's Italian, so when she goes over there, she has to deal with Italians. How do you feel about having a foreign wife?
I don't mind translating.
He rarely does it. Here's what he said. I said, what'd they say? Don't worry about it.
If it's not important, I know she doesn't care anyway. Well,
I always care.
she does, but she really doesn't. I know better than she does. She doesn't care about what people have to say. Lately, she developed a thing where it came out, really. I mean, it always used to be there, but gossipy and all that stuff. She likes to know what people have to say. If they say random stuff, then who cares? I mean,
I'm not a gossipy person.
that's my
A little
point.
bit. I'm a female.
It came out lately.
I'm not really like
I
that.
do translate what's important, and I do speak in English every day. I don't ever do anything on purpose. I don't speak in Hebrew on purpose like some people would probably.
Do you wish that you would have married a more traditional Jewish girl?
I think it would be easier. Do I wish it? No. But I think it would be easier.
Do you really?
Yes.
Because I think Jewish girls here are very high maintenance.
You haven't
and,
met people I did in my life.
Oh, you have? Who did you meet?
Quite a few people.
Oh, you did? Because I remember a conversation that I had with him saying that I was a perfect girl for him.
I didn't say you're not. I just said that not everyone is high maintenance. Some people are self-sustaining here.
Oh, okay, well, I haven't seen that. Stephanie Rudy asks, doesn't it feel like you're living in a different world? Yes, completely. When I get on the plane and everybody's speaking Hebrew, it starts, and then I'm like, kind of like, ugh. When you land, they don't know how to make a line. They will push you out of the way. Then when you get off the plane, everybody's speaking Hebrew, and I don't know Hebrew. You know the Peanuts, Mom and Dad, how they go wah 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 wah. That's what I feel like all the time when I'm in Israel. I feel like people are just wah 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 wah. Mrs. Fayyad, 1979, asks, are there any other countries you all want to visit or live?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. What are some of your favorite books, movies, and TV shows?
My favorite books are definitely by J.R.R. Tolkien and a couple by H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Arguably, Lord of the Rings is it's clearly the best trilogy ever made by human beings. After that is The Hobbit. Then other trilogies like Matrix. We both love Matrix a lot. Just the different stories, not the regular old, just
Forrest
creative.
Gump. Forrest Gump is a classic, epic movie. It's classic.
Anything that's American classic, usually I don't like so much.
Forrest Gump.
TV shows.
Oh, TV shows.
TV shows. We have a lot of TV shows we like. When I look up stuff, I look stuff that is interesting to me and Andrea at the same time, not just me or her.
We don't like space movies or outer space stuff.
No, outer space.
I don't like dinosaur movies.
I don't either. Jurassic Park is not my thing.
That's not for us.
We don't really watch cartoons at all. TV shows. So we used to
Wilfred.
have Dexter is done.
Dexter.
Breaking Bad is done. We have a lot more
True
shows that
Blood.
are done. Well, True Blood's about
Game
to be
of
done.
Thrones.
Wilfred is our favorite now because it's just funny. It's just
Modern
hilarious.
Family.
Modern Family is getting old, but yeah, it's the same. It's good.
Who do you think I'm like on that show?
Modern Family. Cam.
I'm Cam.
She does this like she just did. She speaks like him. She acts like him lately.
I act like Cam.
Lately.
I
oh
do.
my god. Yeah.
No, I act like Cam. It's so funny when we're watching it. I'll just look over at him because he knows that I would do the same exact thing he does. I'm Cam. What is the easiest and most challenging thing about moving to a foreign country? The easiest thing...
What's the hardest thing?
Okay. The hardest thing is the language. If you're moving to Europe, and it's not Germany or something, yeah, that's great because they speak English over there. If you move into Australia, they speak English over there. Some people you can't understand, but they still speak English. If you move to a foreign country and they don't speak English, and some of the people speak English here, but they act like they don't, and they don't know what pointing means. They don't know what context clues are. They don't know what signing is. That's hard. Communicating is hard. The easiest thing, well, nothing about moving to a foreign country is easy, I don't think. What do you think?
Getting used to the food. You like that food?
Some food. Where do you see yourselves in 5 or 10 years? I'm only answer this. In 5 years, I see us having another baby, at least one more. We'll probably still be living in this house because we're allowed to live here for 6 more years. So we're allowed to live here for 7 years total. This is a military housing is what we're in now. In 10 years, I expect us to have a house in a lot where we're living at now. I hope.
Which means you'll be millionaires.
10 years, where you expect us to be?
Expect us? I don't know where we're going to be.
In 10 years. Raphael will be 11 years old.
These questions are really hard because I can really see right now that there's a lot of ways this can go. And I don't know where we're going to be next year, so...
He's not a planner. That is one thing that he could work on a little bit. Me too, I'm not a planner either.
Daily, weekly, monthly, half yearly, I am a planner, even yearly. I'm definitely a planner. What she means is I don't know what I want to do later on. I'm in the military, so I'm a planner. If I don't encourage her sometimes we just miss out on stuff. Like, let's go shopping right now.
We can't do anything. When he gets home, it's too late and he's tired. So the stores close here. It's kind of like if you were living in America in 1940 and the stores closed at 8 o'clock p.m. or something and they weren't open on Sunday. Well, the stores here are not open from 2 p.m. from Friday all the way to Sunday morning. He's home Thursday night and we can go out Thursday night if he gets home early enough, maybe Friday morning, and that's it. We don't have Saturday or Sunday to go out. That's it. He works on Sundays. That sucks. Hadar, did you get nervous visiting America since it's different? It's hard to adjust to. Did you get nervous in America?
No. No.
Okay. We don't go out. I think we don't go out. I've never been to a bar. I've never been to any place with him, really. When's the last time? We never went out before.
We have a baby and we have no one to babysit it, so that's when we were in the States, we went out every night.
Yeah, we did go out a lot.
But when we're here, we can't.
Who lays the law in the house?
Everyone's got something to say.
Yep. Mary Beth Whiting asks, how long was it until Hadar popped the question? Did you say yes right away? Did you have a big wedding with a reception? Hadar asked
September 9th,
me.
2009.
999.
999. That's our movie. Mojo
Yes.
Pin.
He asked me through the mail. He sent a package with. I'm not wearing it now, but he sent a heart shaped with diamonds in it pendant. And he asked me to marry him. Had a note with it. I think I showed it on a vlog one time. I was online and I had my webcam on and I wrote a little note that said Ken because Ken said yes. You know, I took a picture and sent it to him and then he showed his parents. We did not have a big wedding and we did not have a big reception. He came over to marry me from Israel. You have to be Jewish to get married in Israel.
It's a rabbinical thing. It's about to get changed.
We couldn't afford a big wedding or a reception. I would feel kind of silly having a wedding because the only people that would have went were, well, just my family. And that's basically who came, was my mom and my son.
Ever since I was little, I never planned on having a big wedding. And I've been in big weddings here every year or so. I mean, the first wedding I attended, I was 3 years old and I was overwhelmed. I can remember that night.
Weddings, I never was a little girl dreaming of my wedding. I always thought that it was silly. I did go to a wedding once and I cried, you know, just basically because you're up there before God and whatnot. I don't know, it's a lot of pomp and circumstance, I guess. It's not for me.
And we both think the same. That's the thing. We almost always think the same.
I'm actually wearing my wedding dress right now. This is what I was supposed to wear. I didn't, though. I chose to wear a little more casual. We got married at the Justice of Peace in Florida. I was wondering where Hadar learned to speak English so well.
Medieval literature and games. Video games. Medieval. Don't trust anything but medieval.
He was talking to people online, so he had to type English and speak English because, you know, we had headsets, so.
Well, I started out typing. I typed for about a good 8 years, and I never spoke a word in English until I got into World of Warcraft, where I had to speak to other people in English and not Hebrew. I didn't speak too well, but I wrote perfect.
It sounded like his stepdad spoke English well. Also, was he originally from the States?
Baltimore.
Yes, he's from Maryland, yeah. He is American.
7 Ethereal 7 is asking Andrea if you could do anything or wish for anything to come true, what would you wish for?
Probably live very healthy until past age 100.
What do you like most about Israel?
I like the housing. What is your job in the Air Force?
Munitions crew chief.
And how long have you been in the Air Force?
5.5 years almost.
When did you decide this would be your profession?
Well, I was a glide because we have to do a mandatory service for 3 years. And at the end of the 3 years, I already knew I was going to do it.
What is your religion?
Jewish. Coco Chanel 24 wants to know your religion.
I wouldn't say that I have a religion. religion, but if you wanted to classify it, it would be Christian. I don't really want a friend in real life, just on the internet.
How are you preventing your son from having the same issue?
I don't know. I'll probably take him downstairs to play in the playground with other little kids when he's able to walk and doesn't put sand in his mouth, when he can play with other little kids, probably within the next year.
Are you ever going to bring your other son to Israel with you?
He did live in Israel for 2 years. He hated it there, wanted to move back, so I eventually let him move back. He was very depressed living in Israel, so I did let him go back, and he's happy, much happier now.
Can we meet him?
Yes. You've already most likely have seen several videos by now of him, so yeah, you will. You can go back and meet him.
Gonna shout out Kathy Chats because she didn't ask a question, but she left a comment. Losing Leah. What parts of American culture do you like and dislike?
First of all, I'd like to say I dislike the eating there. I like that they have food for cheap. I don't like that the cheap food is mainly junk food. Not mainly, it's just junk food.
It's junk.
I want to eat a vegetable, and I don't want to pay a lot for my vegetable.
Right.
And I want it to taste good. Why?
Yeah.
You go to Walmart, and there's like 8 out of 14 food aisles where they just are covered with junk.
Junk.
Only junk. When we go to Walmart, we go in, you see fruits and vegetables because that's how a market has to market itself. You know, a store.
We have fresh food.
Yeah, that's first thing you see, and then you go and you have the beef and meats and stuff, but the aisles are just full of garbage, and every time we went in there, Andrea's like, let's look at, you know, because she's lived there her whole life, and I just go through it.
But that's why when you go shopping, you shop the perimeter. You don't shop through the aisles.
I don't like that.
The aisles are 100% processed food. The perimeter is the fresh food. So stay on the outside of the supermarket,
So
and you should be okay.
I don't like that. Okay, people aren't too friendly there. And
That's a
okay.
lie.
It's okay if you don't want to be
Did you say
friendly.
aren't too friendly?
Are not. Because if someone is friendly, it might be a killer. And if they're not friendly, they might pull a pistol on you too. And the one thing I really don't like about the States is the cops. I don't like that you can't argue with a cop at all. I mean, they'll shock you, they'll tase you, or kill you or something.
Don't tase me, bro.
State troopers does this. I don't like that either. Pointing. Who points?
See, he's Israeli. They don't point. They don't
have
know
a
the
megaphone.
sign language.
It's go to the corner. Pull
Go
over.
around the roundabout.
Except for that, I really like the fact cars don't cost much. I like that fuel doesn't cost much. I like how they live out in the woods and they can go wherever they want.
And to shoot guns, and
You're able to shoot whatever guns you want.
we can shoot a bow if we want.
You are
We
able
can
to
go
hunt if you
hunting.
want.
We can go fishing.
Basically anything that has
We
to
can
do
ride a
with
horse.
nature. Anything that has to do with nature aside the guns.
We can climb a mountain with trees on it.
Here, you don't get to do much.
How do I feel about my son living away from me in America? I hate it. I hate it. But he really has it good there. He loves it there. He's going to school with all of his old friends that he went to school with since kindergarten. So he's happy. What parts of Israeli culture do I like and dislike? I don't like how Israelis are, in my Western thinking, rude. I like that the food here, the fruits and vegetables, actually have a taste, and they taste really good. When I first came here, it was like tasting fruits and vegetables for the first time.
You take half a bite, you eat it, and it's heaven in your mouth. For a
It's very
tomato. I mean, that's amazing.
You could make jelly out of
That's
tomato.
amazing.
Yeah,
Really.
they're very good. Do you feel your age gap is a positive or negative thing in a relationship?
Both.
Oh, yeah?
Can be good and bad.
I think it's bad because I'm getting to the age where I need to hurry up and have some babies. And I think it's good because if I were younger, I don't think I could put up with him. What do you think,
I think
it's bad with it?
It's bad because you are much older than me.
What's that? Bad about
It affects a lot of things. I
It
mean,
does?
even if you were, into sports and whatnot, you would still be, it's just not the same. Having energy as 23-year-olds is not the same as however old she is.
I bet you do.
The good thing is that she at least has a lot of experience, and I have more experience than most people in my age, so
Do I know a lot of stuff?
do I know a lot of stuff?
No, you do. do now.
I still teach you things.
Do you parent differently?
Yes.
Yes. He thinks that I coddle the baby, that I coddle him too much or something. And I think that he is not as warm as he should be.
Which both are right.
He wants to be a daddy and put his daddy all over it, and I want to be a mommy and put my mommy all over it, so that's how we parent.
So our biggest difference is that sometimes both ways, what we just said, sometimes.
Well, it wouldn't be such a big deal if he didn't like mention it, like, why are you doing that, why are you doing that? If he didn't mention it, we wouldn't fight about it. A midlife woman asks, in general, do the babies get circumcised over there like most do in the States?
Babies generally do get circumcised. It's not just because they're Jewish anymore, but they do believe it's healthier.
It's more hygienic. Raphael was circumcised, but they left a lot of foreskin on there. So, yes and no, he was, yes. Xander Glamour asks, have you always done your hair blonde? No. I like my hair blonde the most. When I'm pregnant, I don't dye my hair at all. When I wanted a change, I dyed it black, and I've also had it ash brown.
Blonde is the best.
Blonde is the best for my skin tone, for my eyes, for my face. It's just the best. My hair looks dirty when it's brown. My most missed food from the States is bacon and Krispy Kreme donuts, and I want to have at least 2 more children. Aurelia 642. Hadar, what did your family or parents think about your marriage to a woman from the U.S.? Did it trouble them?
Definitely trouble them.
Right before we got married, his mom was like pushing him to marry me. It wasn't that troubling. My parents weren't too thrilled about me moving to Israel, but they were really happy about somebody being able to take care of me. I had been single for 13 years, probably more than that, but yeah, about 13 years. Probably more than that. About 14 years I was single, no boyfriends at all, and then all of a sudden I have this guy that I'm talking to for 3 years, and then, by the way, we're getting married, and oh yeah, he lives in Israel and I'm moving there. What did they think about us meeting online? What did your parents think about that?
Weird.
They got over it pretty quick. What do you miss most about the U.S.? My guess, shopping options? Yes, I definitely miss Walmart. He loves Walmart. He loves Best Buy. I love Lowe's and Home Depot. I like the home stores. I like some place where I can go and look at like home decor. I really miss looking at home decor. I used to be able to change my curtains all the time, change the pictures of my house. I can't do that here. I do miss that a lot. Besides your family in Israel, what is the best part of Israel?
The best part is that I belong here. I feel like I belong here.
Really?
Yeah.
Crafts in Puyallup asks Hadar, if you had the chance to do so in the near future, would you move to the U.S.?
Maybe.
In the near future.
Maybe.
Most people look at the U.S. as a land of opportunity. How did both of your families accept the fact that both of you were marrying someone from another country?
My family took it okay because my mom already married someone from a different country.
But I do remember showing my cousin's wife a picture of his mom and dad. The first thing she said was, oh, they look normal. It kind of makes you think, what do people think about people that live in Israel? They're normal people. They look normal. They're just normal people. If you have your family around you, you can pretty much live anywhere and be happy. I think that, one place is as good as another.
Seasonly 78 wants to know, how did you guys feel about us moving to Israel?
We all thought you were crazy.
So, what'd you guys think of me marrying a foreigner?
Oh, that's nothing. That don't bother us.
Yeah. Cook for my kids wants to know if my parents are together and do I have a relationship with my dad?
Yeah, we've been married since December 7th, 1968. She's got the same relationship with her dad as his son does.
Yeah. Libby Withnall wants to know, how do both of your families, so mine and Hadar's family, deal with the way of eating and healthy living lifestyle?
Well, I try to eat healthy, but it doesn't always work.
How do you deal with the way I eat?
You mean when you're in Israel or when you're
When
in
I'm in
America?
Israel.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think that's great when you're in Israel.
You think my
But
diet
you
in
just
Israel is
really
good?
overdo it when you come back to
Oh, yeah.
America.
Oh, yeah. Emily Pound says, it must be really hard for your mom to have you and the baby so far away. Is she ever planning to visit you guys in Israel? And how often do you plan to visit back home? So you coming over?
I don't fly. I will never fly. So the answer is no, I'm not going to Israel, ever.
So you'll probably come over next year on a plane?
So I will not come over next year on a plane.
How you felt about us moving over there, and if you had any concerns. What were your concerns?
Oh, yeah. With all the things that's going on over there. But Andrew tries to reassure me that it's safe over there. So I have to take her word for it. But she used to have a safe room. I mean, you know, if it's safe over there, why have you got a safe room?
We have a bomb shelter downstairs.
Well, a bomb shelter.
It's underground.
Okay, all right. I wouldn't mind having a bomb shelter here.
It's not ours, it's the community's.
That tells you something right there, don't it?
Aurelia 642 wants to know, what did you think of us meeting online, me and Hadar?
Oh, there's nothing. You've met people online before.
Yeah.
You never really took it this far before, but I mean, you was always playing games and met people.
Crafts in Puyallup wants to know how my family accepted the fact that I was marrying someone from another country.
No, it's fine. No problem.
Cat W Magic wants to know, is my dad or brother going to come visit? Any other family going to visit in the future?
No. If I don't fly, they definitely won't.
The Groover family wants to know what made me want to do daily vlogs, and you could probably answer that.
To have a living recognition of the family and to keep me up to date on what's going on with the baby and your life.
Kim Holmes asks of you, are you supportive of me living outside the States?
Oh, I would just love her to be in any state in America. Any state, period, in America. But
so you
she's
could
gotta
drive.
do what she's got to do, yeah.
So you could
I
drive
could drive back and forth.
Taming the Food Beast asks, do you, Andrea, worry about living there, safety-wise, etc.? And does Hadar not worry about you when he is gone so long during the week and basically you are there alone and not speaking the language?
Yes, I have been scared a few times. We have been bombed in this city twice. The thing that I'm scared about is the houses nowadays are made with a, what's it called, a safe room. This apartment building is very old, so it doesn't have one in it. It's downstairs. So we have to run downstairs and then go underground into this thing that's already locked.
I'm not scared at all because unlike what the Americans would think, people don't come here and rob you in this neighborhood, in this house. People do run here at 11 p.m. literally around town, you know, like out in the desert.
If we walked out right now, there would be people walking in the street, and it's the middle of the night right now. Country girl, you're like supposed to be in the house at dark, so that's weird.
Well, same here for kids, but you know, you can do whatever you want here. People don't bother you that much.
Parents let their children run wild. Basically, they're like, okay, yeah, go downstairs and play. These kids are 3 years old and they're by themselves, you know? So that's a little weird to me. I haven't heard a whole bunch of like child abductions or like murder.
No, there's more soldiers with guns out in the street than people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're safe, okay? When the military is in the street, They're pretty much safe.
That is the good thing, because when the military, even when they're like off duty, they have a weapon with them. What's it called? An M80 or something?
M16, Andrea.
M16, whatever. Great big explosion outside. What had happened was the transformer blew and a tree fell on the line at the same time, and it exploded right outside of my window.
This was during a storm, which never happens here either. But
it was a freak occurrence.
There's a branch in the military which specifically takes care of citizens during war or anything like that, emergency. They were having a huge exercise that day, so when she called me crying, I told her it's okay, it's an exercise. We didn't even know what happened at base, and I was just about to get on a bus, and then other people's wives called them too, and were like, oh, I guess it's not an exercise.
There's a bomb outside. There's a bomb. They exploded. What do I do? My biggest regret in life, probably not saving money when I was younger. Saving up for buying a house, probably my biggest regret. Another is like, well, I can't even say it's a regret because it was like the best decision for us and him at the time, but I would like my son to live here in Zebulon.
My biggest regret is not related to this family. My dad doesn't talk to me, hasn't in a long time, so my biggest regret is that he doesn't get to meet Andrea or his grandson. Mojapin 12, we meet again. What's your religious views and upbringing? Would you say most of the nation of Israel are practicing Jews or mostly secular? And if not, why do you think? My religious views? I'm not Orthodox, and you could say technically I reform. I do believe in God. I don't run my schedule by the Bible, and I have read the Bible through and through, the Old Testament, all the books.
What do you think about Jesus?
I think it's a true story. I think it happened.
His mom and stepdad are very religious. Very religious. When I moved here, that was culture shock because my parents are not very religious.
Yeah, I don't let it run my life though. My religion, what I believe is okay, but I don't let it run my life. I don't pray every day. I don't feel the necessity to pray all the time. I do it in my way. I don't, get up or down on my knees or up or something and look up.
No,
and
but you
do
don't
it.
have to do all that. I mean, I pray every single day, and I thank God every single day. Multiple times a day. You don't have to do all that. You can say it in your head.
I don't make other people see it, is basically my point. I keep it to myself. Even when my mom really pushed me into saying things, into being more
vocal about it.
Yeah, I will never do it.
You should go in your closet and be alone with God. We both believe that.
So the rest of Israel, basically there are a lot of Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox, or Reforms, but Reforms here have our holidays. I know all the holidays, again, through and through. I know all the holidays, why you do things, what you do, but I don't go into the Bible and start reading stuff, passages and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just what's related specifically to the holiday. That's what most people do here. There's a huge community of ultra-Orthodox Jews which actually believe we lead the world and ourselves to destruction. They do not support Israel at all. They curse Israel every day, and it's a huge population. I don't know exactly how many, maybe 500,000. I don't even know. They usually are in, they have huge neighborhoods in Jerusalem and next to Tel Aviv and Bnei Brak. There's whole towns just for ultra-Orthodox Jews because they have this and that many rules about Shabbat and how you're supposed to live. Technically, you have 613 good things to do every day. They believe that. I'd have to say most of the population is traditional. Yeah. They wear a kippah. And when I say most,
which is the
you don't really see it during the day that often, but literally most people are traditional. They go to the Bet Knesset on Shabbat.
The synagogue.
Synagogue.
Our neighbors actually go every
Saturday.
Saturday.
Every Shabbat.
Shabbat is on Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you say upbringing means?
Upbringing is how you're raised.
The way I was raised, we were really reformed. I mean, my mom, even though now my mom and stepdad, they really get into the holidays and they read passages from the Bible and whatnot. I wasn't raised like that at all. From what I remember, we weren't really raised into being traditional, more reformed, Now, when you say secular, I assume you mean not Jewish. Most people are Jews here. Like, if you're not a Jew, you're Muslim. And if you're not Muslim, then you're Christian.
I wouldn't classify myself in any religion. I do believe in Jesus, though. Jews don't believe in Jesus if you're not a Messianic Jew. Messianic Jews believe in Jesus. There's like 4 or 5 different types of Jews that you can be. Basically, I believe in Jesus. That could get me thrown out of Israel because I'm not a Jew. They don't want Christians living here, basically. I would not be allowed to live here if they knew that I was a Christian.
What she refers to is ultra-Orthodox again.
Ultra-Orthodox.
Regular people don't care. You do your business. I mean,
Right.
they get into your nosy and stuff. They get into your life, but it's fine. Mojapin again.
Mojapin.
How does Israel view the rest of the world? Is it against the world? Do they feel they have allies? And what is the average Israeli view of the U.S.? So Israel thinks of the world as it is. Every country is either against or with Israel, and that's how we see it. That's how Israeli people were taught to see the world. You're either with us or against us, because we keep having these enemies trying to kill us, bomb us all the time.
And they're all over. They're on all sides.
See, Andrea's born in the U.S. and she knows who's an ally and who is not to Israel. It's something that's important here. Mainly, if you look at the world map, the first thing I think about is definitely who's my ally, where they are, who's against me, and where they are. The average Israeli thinks the States is a protector that is greater than us and is always with us no matter what. How I feel about the States is it's a big daddy. What the state says to do, first of all, it's being run.
It's a big daddy.
Most of Israelis like Americans.
You've never been to the States? You don't want to go to the States? I would never go to the States. Why would you never go to the States? It's the best place on earth. He doesn't know what he likes. He's never been to the States. He would like it.
Do you have any feelings about the day to pray for the peace of Jerusalem?
He is involved in the church that has a day to pray for Jerusalem. So,
Well, actually, you're supposed to answer that.
me? What do I think of it?
Yeah?
Prayer is always welcome. I think more attention needs to be brought to the actions of what others do to Israel. Israel is a democratic state in the middle of all of the, what do you call them?
Dictatorship.
Dictatorship nations. We have a lot of enemies around us, and Israel is a pivotal area to keep friendly with America. Just think of Israel as like a little piece of America in the Middle East.
Living in Israel versus the U.S., how safe do you feel living in Israel? How, with the anxiety that you suffer from, do you ever manage to meet Hadar? What makes both of you click?
I truly believe that God put me on the plane to go meet Hadar, because when I was over the sea on the plane, I said, what the heck am I doing? And how am I going to get out of this now? And I have no idea how I got on the plane.
She was anxious the day we met, but I kissed her when she got off the plane, so it's all good.
And I was all sweaty. I feel pretty safe. I have a steel door with a very good deadlock on it, ×2, so.
And you'd have to climb 2 flights of stairs. Technically it's 4, it's 2 stories.
3 stories.
2 stories. So you'd really have to climb up here if you want to grab something from here, and it's really not worthwhile. What made us click? I helped her the first day we met. First night for me.
Yes.
What made us click is we're kind of the same. Just with
We have a lot in
all the
common.
differences, we are pretty much, we think the same.
Yeah, which can be pretty sick and twisted sometimes.
Yeah.
What is it?
How do you deal with our way of eating and healthy lifestyle? You love it? Okay. Thank you very much. Mel Darling wants to know, how did your mom feel when you told her about Hadar? So how did you feel when I told you about Hadar?
I didn't know him. I didn't bother me.
Didn't bother you?
Uh-uh.
And you didn't know him?
Uh-uh.
How did you feel when I told you I was going to move to Israel?
I thought you were kidding.
What do you admire and love about Hadar? And Hadar could answer as well.
You should probably answer that first. Let me think on mine. Maybe you should think on it. Okay, Hadar. What do I admire about Hadar? I admire that he can work out and he's like focused on that. I'm not interested in that too much. But he is like really focused, and like even when he comes home and it's a long hard day at work, and believe me, he has long hard days and he's very stressed, he will go ahead and work out, and then he runs, and like I have no idea how he does any of this stuff. That's what I admire about him. He does a lot of work. I admire that he is a hard worker, because that is a very good trait in a man.
I admire Andrea for how she manages to live here in this little bubble in just a little apartment, not going out except for when I'm here, basically. Even though I always push her to go out, every day I call her and ask her, hey, did you walk with Rafael? Did you take him out in the sun? And did you dance? Really try to ask her these 2 questions, because she lives in a small place with no one around, no mommy, no daddy, no one except for a little baby which cries, you know. What do you do?
I don't have friends to talk to. You know, I don't have people to support me.
People at work are worried about her more than I am. I know she's good. That's what I admire her for. She's able to live right here in impossible conditions.
They say, your baby was just born and her mother didn't come and visit her and stay with her for a month?
I keep having to explain that she's nuts. She just won't get on a plane and see her baby. Grandbaby, doesn't matter. She's nuts.
Grandma, you won't come on a plane and come over here.
She loves the baby, so. But we had this talk face to face. Hey, you're gonna come over? Nah, I don't think so.
No, I never did.
Okay.
She would, if we didn't go over there, she would never meet Rafael.
And that's a shame.
Person.
And that would shed a
Yes,
tear.
that is a
That would
shame,
probably
Grandma.
shed a tear right now. If Rain whispers, do you want any more children? Okay, we answer 2.
2 more.
How is the weather where you are? Where we are, the weather is about 100 to 105 Fahrenheit. We live on the shore, basically, on
The sea.
Yeah, on the seashore. Not the ocean though, just the sea. It's in a bay. It's at a bay, so it's way different.
Yeah.
We don't get rain here.
It rained 3 times last year, 2 sprinkles, 1 flood. That was rare. That was like super rare. It was on the news.
Yeah, okay, it's like a sauna, but without the wet. As you go north, it gets more humid. It can definitely get cold here. I mean, it gets so
It
cold.
will get cold, yeah. 16 degrees Fahrenheit, 61 degrees
Backwards.
Celsius.
Backwards.
Yeah.
What is the most different thing they do here that you don't do in the States?
Holidays are completely 100% different, but similar. They don't have Halloween, so I can't like go trick-or-treating with the baby, but they do have Purim, and that is in like February or something, right around there.
Okay, alright, glad we got that. Now, what I was going to say is the most different, way different thing they do is they're just out all over the place whenever. If you go out 11 p.m., people are out.
Here. Yes.
What is our worst fear, each of us?
Someone trying to attack me while I have the baby, and I'm very vulnerable. That's my worst fear. I do have a knife, and I do have a machete that I keep in 2 different strategic locations. What's your worst fear?
Fear of heights. What is your favorite food ever? We have top 3. We don't have a single one except for Andrea. Hers is donuts.
Krispy Kreme.
Mine is certain cuts of beef, barbecue, pizza, and sushi.
I agree with that.
Okay, I have a question. It's for me, but you can answer it. Halela asks, does your son not have any toys? So does Raphael not have any toys?
Well, I don't know about over there, but he sure got them over here.
Yeah, he does.
She just packed some suitcases full of toys. So.
Yes.
More than probably they want over there, but
yeah, more toys than we need. Does Raphael sleep in a tent on the floor?
Oh yes, it's great. I've never seen anything like it. He knows when it's time for bed. Sometimes he just rolls right over and goes to sleep. Even though he's not asleep when you put him in there, he's good. You just zipper him up and he sleeps. He sleeps good.
Yeah. And the tent is not actually on the floor. There is a mattress
there's a
in
pad
it. Yeah.
in there. Yes.
It's zipped inside it,
and
so
it's
he
soft. It's soft.
can't suffocate or anything.
Yeah.
It's very, very solid.
And it's made for the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shopping Media Girl 1 asks, what is your chocolate recipe with the coconut oil and nuts?
I will give that to you in a different video.
How do you make the bars?
I will give that to you too.
I would love a sample weeks menu when you're home versus when you travel?
Okay, I do have a sample menu, and it is up on I Need More Lives.
Does Hadar purposely eat paleo because he's aware of the health benefits, or was he just raised that way? I wasn't raised that way. I don't do paleo. I do whatever I want.
Do what I want.
Whatever my body feels like. A couple months ago, I was running in the morning at base, early morning, and I run always, pretty much I try to keep the same pace, pretty quick.
It's very fast.
And then after a couple of miles, like 2 or 3 miles, my muscles started aching. So I stopped, as soon as something's wrong, I stop. I don't mess with all that. I came home that day and I said, today I hit a wall. And ever since I eat carbs. Ever since, like a couple months ago till now, I've been eating carbs.
We don't eat processed food. We don't eat bread. We don't eat, he eats rice and oats. Those are the grains that we have in the house. And
Quinoa.
corn. That's not a grain, it's a seed.
Okay.
So we have rice, oats, and corn. Those are the grains that we have in the house. Does not eat any
Junk.
no gluten, no sugar. He does have more carbs in the form of rice and
But I
oats.
have to. I figured that out.
He does have
After doing
to.
a couple months of P90X, I figured that I have to have it. I didn't even look at their menu, but when I looked it up, I was like, oh.
Yeah, he's.
You're
got
supposed to
have
eat more carbs.
Basically, both of us eat a very clean diet. No processed food, basically.
Is the military a lifelong career, or would he like to do something else? I don't want to do this my whole life.
Good
My
to know.
job, I have to command over 15 soldiers day to day, how they handle munitions, how they do everything in my field. Everything. And every 2 to 3 years, which literally means every 1 year, 8 months to 2.5 years in their service, they with me. I have to take care of them. And I have to teach them everything. And that means every time they get released, I have to teach more people. That's just one little part of my job. I do a lot more things.
It's very stressful to him.
It kills you. You can't do it for long.
Yeah.
This job makes you get older quickly. Is there any other Americans to hang out with? Not currently, no.
When I did live in Arad, I had a friend that was an American and Israeli. She hung out with me, she took me places. She was really cool to hang out with. She is actually a singer, and she was very fun to hang out with. She had 2 kids. But no, I don't have any friends here.
Cat W Magic. Are you planning on bringing any of your favorite things back from Israel, from the U.S.? And what are they? Whatever we brought back here, you saw in a video.
Yeah, in our luggage. I would have loved to bring more stuff back with me.
If we could ship Walmart over here.
Yeah. Israel doesn't even have Ziploc bags. So if you can imagine being American and not having stuff that you're used to your whole entire life, and these people are stuck in 1930 where they don't have Ziploc bags. I mean, basically it's a little hard to get used to, and there's a lot of stuff that I do miss from the States. I miss going shopping and just picking up frivolous things. You know what I mean? Being a girl and picking up frivolous things. That's what I miss.
Yeah. Sherry Mommy of 5.
We're just going to give her a shout out because she didn't ask a question, but she left a comment.
LOL. How did Hadar become fluent in English, and do you speak any other languages? I speak fluently, like it's my mother language. Who I am is Hebrew, English, Portuguese, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Italian, a little tiny bit of French and Latin, and some good Arabic. That's my languages. How did I become so fluent? Like I said, what you have to focus on is you have to focus on medieval literature and video games if you want to learn good English. Just like that.
I would say if you have a kid and you want them to learn a different language, put them on a video game in a Spanish server, if you want them to speak Spanish, and they will get so interested in that game that they will learn how to speak Spanish. We both like medieval weapons. If I could, I would have 2 knights of armor,
They
full
cost
sets of plate armor.
$1,600 at medieval
Oh yeah,
times.
if I could have 2 sets of those, and I would have a big medieval wooden door, a drawbridge for my bedroom. Suits of armor, chainmail, swords, all kinds of stuff, and that would be the only home decor I would have in my house because I love that stuff.
All right, Zeb doesn't want to do the Q&A. That's the face he gives me. He doesn't want to do the Q&A. How you feel about me living in Israel?
Nice.
You ever coming back for a visit?
Nope, hate that country.
Okay. So that's why you moved over there? Over here? Because you hate Israel?
Nice try. I'm not expanding on that.
Okay. You coming back, America? You coming back?
You're really bad at this.
Are you coming back to Israel?
You are really bad at this.
You want to come back to Israel?
Keep trying.
Okay.
The baby thought that was funny. Woo!
We're in Zeb's house right now. This is his little house.
You can stop recording now, by the way.
Okay. Bye, brother.
Lori's life journey. Did you find it easier moving there, or wish Hadar would have moved to the States?
She wishes I moved to the States, no doubt.
Of course. It is so easy to live in the States, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's easy. You have it easy. Is Rafael going to school in Israel, or are you planning to homeschool?
Homeschool.
Homeschool for sure. What do you think of the U.S.? Is it what you imagined?
Yeah, I knew about the U.S. before I went there.
The very first time you came in 2010, what did you think of it?
Well, I felt like a stranger, but I knew where I was going. I was fine. I mean, I didn't act strange or weird or anything. I didn't feel weird. I was just a part of it. Everything is different. But once you're there for a little while, you get used to it. It's pretty cookie cutter. People are people.
Cookie cutter.
Everyone's the same eventually.
Everyone is so much more nicer in the
Okay.
States. The Groover family asks, were you nervous moving to another country? Did it take time to decide to move, or were you like, I love him and he can't get there fast enough? We got married like 3 months before I moved. He was there for 2 weeks to marry me, went back to Israel, and left me there for 3 months. I was like getting ready for my move and stuff, and I couldn't wait to move. Walmart. Are there any American customs or things you see as odd?
Nothing is odd to me because I used to read a lot, so I learned about a lot of cultures and stuff. Nothing is too odd.
We're very open-minded about things. I can say things, wow, that's pretty weird, but when I get down into it, I can understand how somebody can do certain things. And he's the same way. We're very open-minded about religion, about, culture, about stuff that people do. So
Except for hateful trolls or hateful people.
we don't like hateful people. What you gotta be hateful for? That's one thing we can't get around. Like, what you gotta be hateful. What made you want to do daily vlogs? For me, my baby was already like 5 or 6 months old, and I was like, I can't not let my mom. Am I saying that right? I can't not let my mom not watch Rafael grow up. Because I can explain something all day, but unless they actually see it, they don't really get it. Just showing different things about our life that I want to share with her. So Martha D asks, what is the favorite thing about each other and the worst? My favorite thing about Hadar, persistence, I guess. And when he has a goal, he gets to it. The worst thing about Hadar, he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't understand what I'm trying to say, and he misunderstands what I'm trying to say, I guess.
The best part about Andrea, one of them, there's a few, clearly persistence too, because you live here. Still live here.
I have patience.
That's it. Except for the road rage, she's very patient.
I do have road rage, but that's inherited from my mother.
Well, no, she's very patient, and even with the worst conditions to be patient here in Israel, obviously, she still manages.
I'm a patient person, and I am tested every single day on how patient I am, that's for sure.
The worst part is the extra baggage that comes with her, food addiction.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's not you, it's what comes with you.
Oh, okay. All right. How do I deal with being away from my family, my mom and son in the States?
Videos.
Yeah, videos pretty much. But they forget to call me because they think that we've already talked. I do not see videos from them. They see videos from me. Are you or Hadar the jealous type?
Andrea is.
I honestly do not think that I am the jealous type. I have never accused him of having a wandering eye, and I have never even thought of him like that, so I don't know what he means by that. Have you had any major arguments? Not major, they're just like minor but they're kind of annoying, and it's basically about Rafael.
Hey, Kitty. Got some questions for you. Lori's life journey wants to know, are you coming to the States too?
Nah, I don't have a passport.
Okay. Cat W Magic wants to know, what are you doing with Kitty while we're away?
He's gonna go into what we call pension.
Pension.
Well, that's what we call it here, actually.
Like a kennel for
Yeah.
America, yeah. She knows something's up. Kitty, I have a message for you. Glasheen's GNS says, hope Kitty enjoys her holiday too.
Kitty doesn't enjoy any holiday.
Grumpy Cat's wife.
She is purring, but not for long.
Can't smack me now. Bye, Kitty.
חדרים מלווים אצלנו, כן. אני צריך להגיע עוד אחד, זהו.
נדוי. אבל תוכל לקבל גם איזה משהו כמו הסטנד?
תשים לה, אני פשוט צריך את זה עכשיו.
KMH Tigger asks, does Hadar's family like you?
Sort of.
You heard it. Was it hard adjusting to a new country? I would say yes. And Hadar's family didn't make it easy on me because they don't live like Israelis do. Basically, they have their own perception of what Israel is and what you can do here. And I found that like their perception was not my reality. They didn't help me to integrate into Israel. We lived with them for like 2 years. You know, that was nice. We had a place to live. I had to learn a lot of things by myself. Is Hadar Jewish Orthodox? And if
No.
so, have you converted?
No.
I will not be converting. I don't feel it in my heart to ever be a Jew. That's not important to me. When I was a little kid, it always fascinated me. Jewish history, the Holocaust. I've, always felt hurt in my heart for Jewish people, but no, I do not want to be Jewish. Does mail come to your home, or do you have to go to a P.O. box? We used to live in Arad, and it came to our house, but we would get a slip if we had a box, like a package. We would have to go to the post office to get it. Here we don't get mail at our house. We actually get it up the street at a big kiosk mailbox. Everybody's mailbox for the whole entire neighborhood. And if we do get a package, we get a slip and we have to go to the post office. So it's kind of like America in a rural area. Life of Ange says, I'm wondering, how did you decide to move all the way to Israel? How you dealt with the culture shock? Now, when I first got here, I had huge culture shock. No one was speaking English, but I did have my son Zebulun with me, so it was like, we made a joke out of it, like blah, 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 blah. We were making fun of everybody speaking Hebrew, but it was culture shock when we got here. Kim Holmes asks, how do you handle the nights when Hadar doesn't get to come home? I stay up all night thinking that I can be very productive, and I don't end up being productive. I just end up being really tired the next day. Hadar, if you could go back knowing everything you do now, would you still have chosen the military as a career choice?
Yep. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's something I like doing.
Do either of you get flack for being from different backgrounds and being together from people on the outside looking in? How about you at work?
Well, yeah. No one else has an American wife who doesn't speak Hebrew, and
Yeah.
always
It's like
comes
a-
up because holidays.
Has YouTube caused any disagreements between you guys?
Yep.
Yeah. I stress out sometimes over haters, and he thinks that I'm being crazy to even worry about it, and I am.
She takes it too serious, and
Yeah, I hate taking it too seriously. These people, they're not important to me. I don't need to worry about them. Joni's Journey says, are there many overweight people there?
yep, about 50-some% actually. So yes, especially.
When I think overweight, I think like 300 pounds. Yeah, there's a lot of overweight people here. They're skinny with a belly. A lot of people walk, a lot of people exercise. They don't eat a lot of junk. When I walk down the street, I don't see great big obese people. I see normal looking people. What is TV like there?
Got a lot of channels, HD channels, recorders, everything. All the technology is here.
Do you have cable or just network type channels?
We have cable and satellite.
What are the popular primetime shows like?
We have Israeli shows, and we actually give out ideas, and people do that in the States. Like Homeland is based on our show. A couple other shows too. One comedy and a couple.
But they do have a lot of American shows. I mean, I was watching SpongeBob with my kid when we came over here. Were you a chubby chaser, or was the connection just so great it wasn't an issue? A chubby chaser?
Chubby chaser, no.
Okay. Sue Peterson, how long ago did you move to Israel?
Officially, in, what was it, June 3rd, 2010.
Halayla, your parents have a beautiful property in Florida. Were you born and raised there? No, I was born in Ohio, and we moved from Ohio to Florida when I was 4 years old. So I've always been there since I was 4. My parents' property was not passed down to them. They bought it probably 15 years ago. They bought the land, and they cleared the entire thing. It's a little over 3 acres. And it is their own. If and when you guys move back to the USA, will you all move into your parents' home? Maybe for a little bit, but no, we wouldn't live with them. I don't like to live with parents. So no, that wouldn't go on for very long. Are the other little buildings on your parents' property homes as well? No, I do have a video on that. A homestead tour, what is in the buildings, so there's a video on that. Has Hadar ever been to the USA before?
Yep.
Yeah, he's went 2 other times. Once for 2 weeks to go marry me. Vacation, you went for a week and a half or 2.5 weeks?
3.
3 weeks? So the time before you went 3 weeks? Okay. So last time you went 3 weeks and this time you went 3 weeks. Rainy, sunshiny. How do you keep your teeth so white? I don't think that they're white, like I'm paranoid that they're not white, but I will do a video on that. Did your friends or family tease for marrying an older, overweight woman?
Yeah.
Yeah?
My mom likes to stare. She blankly stares, and somehow she always ends up staring at Andrea.
She kind of looks me up and down.
Not in a bad way, she just
Yeah.
does it, but it
She
always
just does
is
it.
Andrea. Both my sisters don't really like listening to Andrea. Don't know why. Because eventually they come up and ask her questions and are interested in what she says. 2 years ago, they're ADHD when it comes to Andrea.
Yeah, they don't.
They look at her, they don't get her, they don't understand her, they don't pay attention to her for some reason, but
Yeah,
they're talking to her.
They don't care what I say. They'll just blank out. They'll stare.
I don't know if it's
Like,
because
just blank
what,
out.
but basically, you know, like my sister just found out she wants to do cloth diapers after about a year and a half now that Andrea's been saying, I'm going to do this and I will and everything, and we talk about it.
Well, that's a common theme. I feel that nobody listens to me when I say things, and I do repeat myself over and over again. I think you guys are the cutest couple on YouTube. Thank you, Rainy Sunshine. What fighter jets does the Israeli military have at this time?
We have an F-15. We have an F-15 A, B, C, D. Our F-15 quote-unquote E, or it's actually I. It's converted into Israeli because it's got a lot of Israeli systems in it that we put in it. Also an F-16I, A, B, C, D, and a DJ. DJ is I here because of all the systems we put in it. So basically F-15 and F-16 is the two main fighter jets we have in use. Now we also have, you know, drones and other things. That's not jet
Yeah.
fighters. Thinks I sound American. I don't. Thanks.
That wasn't really a question.
Has the Arab Spring affected your daily life in Israel? It does, because they are people are now confused, and they think that because there's an Arab Spring, everyone's all goody two shoes and stuff, and everything's great. But no, Syria's not doing well at all. Egypt has actually got Bedouin tribes that are bombing us. You know, they're just sending out rockets. Gaza Strip is basically on edge, and they have tunnels, armed tunnels.
Amy Maliga, I hope I'm saying that right. Why are you choosing to homeschool Raphael? I've seen my nephew and niece go into, they have like preschool here. A lot of parents think it's mandatory to send your kids to preschool. I don't. I think there is a myth that kids need to be socialized with other kids their age. I want my kid to act like a little adult. I don't want him to act like a spoiled brat. And when I saw my niece and nephew go to preschool and school, they turned from sweet little kids to little brats, basically. They don't share, they don't play well together. I don't like that. Homeschool kids that I've always seen have been very well behaved. They act like little ladies and little men. And he will get to play outside with other little kids. He just won't be going to school with them. Being that you lived in Israel for years now, have you thought about taking an Ulpan class? Ulpan is where you go learn Hebrew, and I would love to, and I probably eventually will when Raphael's a little older and can, stay at home by himself. It is...
That'll be a while.
Yeah, when he's like 8 or 9 or so, but it is time consuming, and I don't have the best of memory, and I am dyslexic, and some of these words are just like way too hard for me to even say. It is a lot harder for me to retain it and to actually learn it.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Okay, that's great. I like it too. It tastes really good. It's really good.